SEO Sunday, SEO Sunday. Hey, you are welcome to the room. Let's talk about your community and product. That's what we're going to talk about till the sundown in this house. So, welcome to the room. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited that you're in the room. It's what do you call it? Anniversary Eve for the podcast show. So it's one of those, great times that we'll be talking about some really good insights, building some good things that can help you with your business, your structure, your platform, and more importantly, your connections. Because the more connections you make with people, the more conversations you have with people. So that's why I want to have conversations with you because I talk about SEO Sundays here on Clubhouse every Sunday. And I've been doing this consistently. I'm possibly trying to find a good time to do this because there's so much happening in the background. It's crazy, but I'm trying to keep up so that we can have this on Sundays. If not every other Sunday, but at least in every month you should see at least one SEO Sunday a month. So make sure you're in this club, this house, this room, this space, so you can be here. Mostly it will be in the evenings because Sundays, church, family, food. I can't be up here when you guys are also having time with family. I can't interrupt that time. So I like to respect that and make sure I'm here when everything is cool. Everybody's having that downtime before getting back to work the next week. So yeah, we can definitely pull that in. Hey Anisha, welcome Candice. Glad to have you in the room. I'm trying to make this a frequent thing as well. So I see it as well. Soban, good to have you as well, Mr. Queen, Bees, Dedrick, Nicole, Axiomara, hope I said it correctly, Isabel, Kimberly, Dan, Amber, Nadine, and Ahmed as well. Thanks for being here. You're all welcome to the room. And this is an international app, an international space. So sometimes I'm like, when the room starts and everybody shows up and then the room closes again, and I'm like, are people here? Is it really happening? But yeah, people are really listening. So I don't take your time for granted, and I really appreciate you for being here. Welcome, Shay. Welcome to the room. So today, I was just saying earlier, today's anniversary eve for the podcast show, which will be 5 years tomorrow, and I've been doing some reflecting and just thinking because I was also talking with my family today. I was even saying, with my mom, she also has her own ministry with podcasts, with her business, with her, just things that she's doing as well online on YouTube. She's big on social, same thing for my dad too. And I've always been thinking, hey, we can do podcasts, so it would be good for them to also have their own. So I was like, yeah, mom, you should also get on a podcast show. So working on that as well, which is some of the things I'm thinking about. And I was reflecting, I was like, man, a lot of people a lot of people want to build communities. I think that's the big goal. Some people already have a community, but they don't have a product. That's what it got me thinking. Some people have a community and have a product. Some people don't have a community and they have a product. And then some people don't have a community and they don't have a product, but they have an idea. But they just need that idea to turn into an execution that allows someone to turn it from an idea to the pathway between those two sounds is going to take consistency, diligence, and evaluation. And the community and product thing is a big topic. So I wanted to talk about your community and products. So if you're in the room, please put in the chat, what products do you sell? What is your product? Let me not say what you sell because sometimes I don't want to box it in, but what is the product that you talk about the most? What is your product? If you could put it in 2 words or 3 words, let's talk about it. Put it in the chat or come up. I would love to see that and just know and hear from you because that also helps me to help you I'm not just here to talk about myself. I'm here for you. The topic is let's talk about your community. So the community is here, and your community is, I don't know where your community is. So I want to help your community. So it starts from here. So I want to be very intentional about that. Okay. So we got Marcy. Thank you for joining, Marcy. That's Notary Services. I would like to talk to you guys more. So then selling services. I want to be very interactive. So I'm going to add you guys back because communication is a two-way street. And that's the thing. People think, oh, podcast is one way, it's two-way, but you have to create that bridge. And then Shay says, okay, literally, and Sovan is selling services websites. Okay. Hey, Marcy, welcome to the marketing club. Marcy, you there? Oh, if you're speaking, you just muted. So hit the bottom right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, now I'm on. I was talking away. Thank you for letting me come up. I am very interested in SEO. I do have a Google profile, but my free Google website disappeared. They got rid of that. So I'm asking everybody what's a good, easy website. Some people say Square Up. Some people say Weebly. Well, Weebly turned into Square. So, yeah, I'd love some input on that.
Okay. Before I answer, I would like to know a little bit more because I know you said notary services. So, because we're talking about community and product. So, your product is notary services, and we would need a website to house your product for your community. So, right now, what does that look like, business wise?
Okay, well, usually people find me on Google and it's very local because it's Google and they need something notarized. Sometimes it's urgent, sometimes they just want to set something up within the next few days. And there's also some services, signing services that I belong to. But the website, I could put a Q&A. I could link it. I have a landing page for hospital signings. I'd like to have a link that could go to that. Um, and I also do apostilles, which is international document services. So I could put a Q&A asking, questions about that and some education stuff I can put on there.
Okay.
I'm just about done with my 4th year now. So, yeah, but I do have to have a website again.
Yes. That is a major thing. And I'm glad that you're bringing this up, Marcy, because this is what's going to help a lot of people, get to see how they can, scale their businesses. And I'll give you some stats. And then if I'm wrong or off or out of, context, please let me know. Because, sometimes with tools, you use tools, but you also have to make sure that you fact check them because you don't want to make assumptions either. So, by what I'm looking at for notary services in the United States for the past 5 years on Google web search, based on data that I'm seeing, there are about 20,000 searches per month. And it's been going up about 8% in the last quarter. And in the whole calendar year, what I see is in notary services, the high seasons are February, May, June, July, August. Low seasons are January, March, April, September, October, November, December. Let me know if I'm wrong, Marcy, or if I'm off.
A lot of it varies according to the interest rates for the real estate signings, but yeah, it does seem to ebb and flow a little bit. So that does sound about right.
Okay. So it's really like a fluctuating um it's like it's really on a fluctuating curve because when I'm looking at the notary services, I'm also seeing that, interesting. Before I ask this question, let me say this. And welcome, D. Welcome to the room. I see you. Welcome to the room. I've noticed something that with notary services, especially when I'm looking at the cities. Okay. All right. I'm heading somewhere with this. Okay. So when I'm looking at notary services, it looks like, hey, it looks like companies, and I would love to know your thoughts on this, Marcy, because I hear notary services. We've worked with notary service companies too, and I'm very familiar with them. I don't know the practice. I'm not an expert, but when it comes to searches and getting people to find those searches, I can find those. So what I'm noticing and I'm seeing is that a lot of banks, companies, I'm even seeing CVS as well, mostly banks are always looking for notary services. I'm seeing FedEx as well. So when it comes to notary services for small businesses, corporations, commercial, anything to do with the business front, how does that get, like, how do they choose, or what makes the determination between you over the other person or the other person over you?
Well, banks usually do have in-house notaries, but sometimes they don't sign quitclaim deeds. They don't do certain documents. There's all kinds of things that need notarization. I would say this time of year, sometimes it's power of attorneys for kids going off to college, minors traveling with another parent out of the country. There's all kinds of stuff. But loan signings, refis, there's quite a variety, and then estate planning documents also. So just getting my name out there, giving people my cards, and I'm now making a little trifold pamphlet to get out to the local offices that I want to do business with. So I get a lot of referrals too, and I do some business contracts too. Contractors. Yep.
Okay. This is good. I love that you brought this up, and I appreciate that insight because I wouldn't know that fully. So, from what you've mentioned, a lot of people search for, notary services, and when they're searching, they want to know, like right now I'm seeing a question out of the 17 questions that are top asked in the last 5 years. One of the questions is who offers notary services. So that who offers is like as an anybody question. So that's where, people say, okay, where can I get for free notary services? Somebody's asking, is there a charge for notary services? That's another one. Hey, don't guess it, welcome. Those are the questions I'm seeing. And can you charge for notary services? So that's also like from the receiving end. How much does AAA charge for notary services? This is the questions I'm seeing right here. Are notary services
Mm-hmm.
taxable? And then it's taxable because I'm in Texas, taxable in Texas, then maybe in your state, and then in another state, and then all 50 states. So by the time you've covered every look and cranny that is talking about notary services, it points back to you, and it could point back to you in form of a podcast episode title, which is an episode in itself, which has a link, which is linked to your title, which has the keywords already within the sentence or the phrase. Or you could have it as an article where you can actually now show your thought leadership and then, put it in a text format. So when you hear that,
Okay.
what do you think?
Yeah, that's a neat idea because I was thinking I could use the Q&A section, to, like you said, is there a charge for notary service? And of course, it is dependent on state rules. Every state has different criteria. So I'm in Michigan and we can charge $10 per notarization and a travel fee, which is kind of unlimited because it depends. Like I just went and did one at 7 o'clock tonight. So I charge a little bit more on Sunday and for last minute as part of the travel. So that can vary. And, it's a really nice niche because you're helping people and it's providing a service. But yeah, that's a neat idea. I didn't think about doing an article. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Marcy. Yeah,
Hmm.
anytime. Definitely would love to take this, further to connect with you. So I would put my link in. Actually, I'll put it in the chat because I'm
Oh,
seeing
good.
some really good insights so that you can click on the link and then click on the purple. When you click on the link, look for the purple dot and then use the purple dot. That's the one that will take you to the 15-minute call. And then we'll use that time to really, like, you can I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm showing you or telling you now.
Yeah, I'm
I
pulling up
wish.
Calendly
Yes.
right now. There we go. Okay.
Thank you, Marcy.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll let you get to some others. In fact, at 8:30, that's why I popped on Clubhouse. I thought I was linking up with someone on Clubhouse or Zoom, and I was trying to recall. So I'd like to save your room and come back because you're on Sundays, right?
Thank you. Yes, I am trying to do this SEO Sundays as much as possible, at least once a month, but I've been doing it over once. So I'm here a little bit more often,
Okay.
which is good, yes. But I try to keep it around this time, just because I know people, this church family, I don't want to interrupt people's days. So, and then I'm also
Hmm.
not even available. So I know in the evening, like I can spare at least an hour or two to spend time with everyone.
Okay. And then how do I find your room again? Do I press on it? Let's see.
So now that you're following me, I usually do my rooms majorly here in the marketing club because you have a ticket on you. So at the very top, click the marketing club, and then where you see a blue icon on the top left. So when you click on it, join the club, and then once you join the marketing club, you will be automatically put in. And then anytime you come to the club again, you won't have that ticket on you. If you leave the room and come back in, that admit one will be taken off. So you'll be able to cash in your ticket.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Marcy.
Talk to you
Anytime.
soon.
Talk to you soon. This is great, guys. I'm glad I'm doing this SEO Sunday. It feels really refreshing. I want to come to you, D, and Idongese. Good evening. How y'all doing? If anyone is speaking, you guys are muted.
Good evening. Good evening, Favor. Good evening, everybody. Great to be here as usual in Favor's room. I don't know if you can hear me. I think I have connectivity
We
issues.
can hear you.
So,
Hey, happy Sunday.
hey, hey, happy Sunday to you too. Thanks for having me. So, talking about SEO, I'm still learning. I'm very humble in my learning about SEO. But just going back to, I caught some what Marcy was talking about. And I really found value in collaborating and going the affiliate route in um, pushing my message in a sense. I'm in a healthcare field. So I do a lot of advocacy outside of the hospital. So finding yourself in the community, finding yourself as a caregiver, family caregiver, when you don't know the first, second, or last thing about healthcare, all of a sudden you have an aging parent that you have to take care of, you have an aging aunt, or even a child that comes home with medically critical thing to care of. So to take care of, well, like we can talk about anything from trach, G tube, J tube, Foley's, wound care, things of that nature. So family members often just get a 30-minute, 20 to 30 minute overview of what needs to happen, and sometimes they're usually on a mannequin, not really on their family members. And when they come home, they get supremely lost, and then the every in between happens, right? When the wound is bleeding this and not that, when the wound is looking this way and not that, when the trach is sending out all this mucus did not look like the mucus that was described, or the vent is making certain sound, or the content of the G tube on aspiration looks different. So that's where I come in, and the place that I've noticed a lot of questions arise with the aging population. I mean, our baby boomers are aging, right? So there's more and more people over the age of 60 to 70, that need health care, that need that level of care at home. And the family members do not know how to navigate their insurance coverage. So I've been able to partner with one of the major insurance companies here in the United States that actually provides that services, where they have a nurse case manager to talk to, they have social workers, they have healthcare navigators, they have doctors on referral. So a lot of families are paying out of pocket for home care. They're paying out of pocket for home health aides to come into the home to care for their loved ones. But these are things that insurance can cover. But because the process of navigating all the services is so overwhelming, they usually give up and spend their life savings in paying for the services. So, in attaching myself to an organization that already has a well established marketing department, right, has also helped me and is helping me promote my message more and more. So I am here learning and growing and hearing from all you beautiful people on, utilizing SEO and growing your businesses.
Thank you, Don't get said. That's a good one. Thank you. I'm also learning from you too. I'm learning from, as I'm listening, there's some things I don't know either in your field that you're an expert in. And I'm just, it's like I'm the one that's listening. So we all take turns, we all go through all those, learning curves. And it's very humbling too, because it also allows you to expand your horizon, get to learn from people, get to be more receptive, and also have that idea of, okay, what is the bigger picture? So that's really good. Thank you so much for that. D, are you there? Just wanted to come to you really quickly before I go to Soban and Shay, because they had their businesses in the chat. So I wanted to also reach out and see how we can, cover that too. Are you there, D?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just here to hold space and listen to the information. But
Oh,
thank
you
you so much.
sound far.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
It's like muffled and far. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to hear
Okay.
you. Maybe it's like the audio quality from Clubhouse, or if it's on headphones, or sometimes it could be those options. So let's see. Give you some time. As we're waiting for D, please make sure that you click the link above for those listening as well. The link right above is to the We Don't Play podcast show. Please listen to the show. And if you love connecting and hearing stories and podcasts, that's a great place for you to start listening to it. And it will give you some insights on how you can also build what we're talking about today. Because I have an SEO Sunday room, and I'm starting to do this a little bit more often. I think this is probably my third edition, maybe second or third. Feels like third, because I don't do it all the time. So just doing this allows me to connect with you faster, allows me to give you, all the things that you're looking for if we have any questions to, handle here. So Soban, I'm coming to you. Selling services, website development, social media management, digital marketing, virtual assistants. That's a lot. And I also get that because we also do a lot. So I think majorly for you, if we're talking about community and product, especially in your world, because I also have that experience too, when people don't know whether to work with this marketing company or this website development agency or this SEO agency or this marketing consultancy agency, it's like a tug of war. And one thing that I've come to see, and that's why I like to just be different, is we all do these things, right? What makes you different from me? If we build the same website and on the same day for the same people with the same amount of skill, then what separates us? A lot. Because you know something I don't, and I know something you don't. But where we both thrive is where we're able to complement each other or compete at a high level, so that when you're showing up in your area, because it's talking about your community, then your community will need your product. And the only way they can find your product is through your data. In other words, your videos, your blogs, your captions, your questions, your links, all that is considered as first party data. That's going to be coming back to you. So you're talking to the community, and the community is responding back to you. The product is the bypass. The product is the byproduct, if I can put it like that, because that is where communication gets to bridge the gap. So if Zoban, someone is coming to you for website development services, they're coming to you because they are searching or they are looking for the best person. Now, what makes you different from the next person is how, first of all, you look online. And then from there, that aesthetic now creates the intention for them to search a little more, just to get more justification for their first impression. So you hear, if you hear these words, justification for your first impression, meaning that, yes, I may be impressed the first time, but I may not be impressed the next time. But I may also be impressed the next time because you may surprise me next time, and that surprise could be a good surprise or a bad surprise. So it's really up to you to decide how ride that boat. So if you're creating a product for your community with the intention of selling services, then those services you're selling have to come from a place of community and building, which means for you, it will look like a forum. Because if it looks like there are a lot of services all in one, there should be like a place where people could connect, ask questions, do a whole forum, like create a subreddit, for example, and just have, that Reddit or that Telegram or that WhatsApp or that website to just have a forum for people to connect and then ask those questions, because as people are debugging or saying, hey, this is not happening, this is working, I need help with this is going on, you can respond to those places and then everyone benefits. Like now, that's what I'm doing here. I'm on Clubhouse responding to all questions at once because I'm literally knocking down all walls at once. If I knock down a wall a day, I'm going to be losing time. So if I rather knock all walls at once, then I can create more time to do other things. So I'm glad you got my point. So just wanted to give that insight because it can get very stressful with businesses trying to pick the right person and this and that. And these days, like with business, we don't even chase. We don't do that because in the beginning, as you start your business, I wanted this person, this person, this person. It gets to a point where you get so fed up, you get tired, you get overwhelmed, you get burnt out, and you don't want to do it. I've been there and it's happened. So I'm human too. So I'm the whole idea of me giving that story is so that you can see the bigger picture of it, so that when you're looking at where community lies, it now falls in the community outside the platform that you actually connect in, if that makes sense. If we're connecting on Clubhouse or if we're connecting within a setting, then our connections should still stay strong outside the network. So if we close this room now on Clubhouse, the connection should not stop, if that makes sense. So that's where community and product come in line. Because right now, the product right now is this room. The room, this is a product. That's what we're talking about. So the product, you're here because you want to consume the product. The product is the message. The product is the delivery. The product is the experience. The product is the price. The price could be free. The price could be charged. Right now, you're paying with your time. You may not be paying in currency, but you're paying in time. So when you're calculating the time you're spending with the people you're spending with, then how much you get back makes sense. I was actually, something blew my mind. I was today years old. Let me just do this really quickly. I was today years old when I realized this. I was on TikTok today, and the late Dr. Miles Monroe, his teachings are just so like legendary, right? And I have this book, but it didn't hit me till he said it. And I was for some reason it's probably gonna hit you too. And if it hits you, good, good. If you already had this intuition and you already knew this, then yay, we're on the same page together. He said, let me just, how did he say this? He said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, how do I want to put this in the best way possible. I want to paraphrase this nicely. He said pretty much that money is an illusion, right? And why it's an illusion is because it starts off with an idea. So he was referencing the book Think and Grow Rich. And he was like, your book says work and grow rich instead of think and grow rich. So you work to get riches. You don't work to get rich. Like it was blowing my mind this evening because you think and grow rich. That's the name of the book, right? But we don't think about, we think about getting rich, we dream about it, we hallucinate, we go crazy, but the thinking has energy. Like for you to think, you need to spend some energy. You need to like burn some energy because when you're thinking, you're especially critical thinking, you have to, it's like trying to solve a puzzle. You're going to have to think. You have to logically think, emotionally think, psychologically think. You have to be in it completely, right? So you have to think about all those things. Yeah, Paris, you see what I'm saying? So appreciate you for being here as well. And Jamichael, thanks for being here as well. Good to see you as well. Crystal, Kathy, and Nicole, appreciate y'all for being here. Just wanted to acknowledge you in the room. Yeah, it's deep. Think and grow rich. Think. Think about that word. Think. It's a 5-letter word, but it has a lot of weight. So when you don't think and you're not rich, then what's the problem? We're not thinking. Nikola Tesla, he thought about something, and the Wright brothers thought about something. You've thought about something, you've probably dropped it because you didn't think it was going to work. But the thinking is what stopped the cash flow. So those are things that you think about, and I'm like, huh. So I'm looking at the Think and Grow Rich book again different because I have a copy, and I'm like, oh, now it looks different to me. You know how when you look at the Bible and you read it, it's different every time you read it. Like it's revealing. Like you've had this book for years. Like this is your bread and butter. Like you've had this, like the routine with your eyes closed, backwards, inside out. You know it, but you still find something new to see, right? Just like if you have a child, there's always something new that you're going to experience. There's always something, there's something special about that. So when you take all these experiences and then bring them together into community and product, the real question is, who are you building for and where are you building? Who are you building for and where are you building? Because who you're building for will bring the community, and where you're building will bring the product. So the who and the where are the two most important questions, because you already know what the problem is. So I don't need to tell you what your problem is. You already tell me what the problem is. So the what is already checked out. We don't have to think about the what. The who and the where, those are two big questions. The when, that depends on how fast we go, or how slow we go, or how we go, right? So when you look at those 5 W's and the 1 H, looking around the community and the product, your goal should be to identify where this product is. Like for me, this is the room, this is the product, right? I'm teaching, I'm expressing, I'm saying things that, could make sense, may not make sense. At the end of the day, at some point, I want to bring it back home. So if it doesn't make sense, I want to clarify that, because I'm not here to make any confusion or to create any confusion. It's to clarify, it's to justify, it's to inform, it's to educate, it's to amplify. So when you look through those in between the lines, right, you're able to see what really is the main source of my goal. What am I really doing this for? So when you think about the who are these people? What is this community looking like? Where are they? And if they're on the 3rd Street or the 5th Street, then that's where the product is, because that's where the party's happening, right? That's where the party's at. If there's a pool party, you're going there because that's where the pool is. That's where the product is. If you're going to that library, it's because that's where that book is. If you're driving to that donut shop, it's because that's where the product is. If you're driving to the gym, that's where the product is. If people are driving to your website, that's where the product is. So you got to drive your online visitors to your website, or a place that you can call yours, at least for some time before there's temporary and then there's permanent. Temporary is like LinkedIn, newsletter. It's like, all these like Medium, other places that you can have, Instagram channels, YouTube community. You can build those things, which is great. And it's very important to build them, because that's where your audience first party data is coming from. So you have to build those houses outside so that people can also receive you inside. So when you build those two forces, it combines and it builds. So you think about your community and you think about your product. For me, the product with the podcast was just a way of connecting with people. That was a natural thing. If I didn't start a podcast, I've said it before over and over again, I would not be on Clubhouse. If I wasn't on Clubhouse, I would never meet. Like there was no other way. We would not meet on Instagram. We wouldn't meet definitely would not meet on LinkedIn because like who is this person trying to talk to me? It wouldn't happen. We wouldn't meet on Tinder. We wouldn't meet on TikTok. We wouldn't meet anywhere because there's no product that could bring the community that has the likeness or the proactiveness to stay connected over a period of time. That's why we have social audio. That's why we thank God for Clubhouse. We thank God for Chatter. We thank God for, different platforms out here that, there's Twitter Spaces, there's LinkedIn Audio, right? These are just platform names. Like they all have their own purposes, right? Like Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're there at some point in our day, in our week. The time we spend there is what matters. I spent a few seconds on TikTok and I gave you guys a whole spiel on what I saw, right? Because that's what resonated with me. Because I'm like, okay, it's leading up to those things. So when you start thinking about those things, and the word here is think, when you start thinking about those things, it helps you process better. Like the more questions you ask, the better your process is, right? Because more questions lead to more answers, and more answers lead to more results. Those results lead to more action plans, and those action plans are executed. When they're executed, they're implemented, and when they're implemented, they're estimated. When they're estimated, they're projected. When they're projected, they're discussed. It's done and it's actually put to work. So when you look at the whole framework from start to finish, you realize that from idea to cash has that value that has to represent community. Because if you send one email to everyone at once and everyone receives that one email, you don't feel the impact until after, like maybe 48 hours after, maybe even an hour after, maybe a week after, sometimes a year after, because it's like an ocean. You just, it's like a wave. So if you're able to make that wave bigger by adding more people to your community, you have a bigger tidal wave. Think about a pond, a valley, an ocean, right? When you look at an ocean, when an ocean is wide, and you look at that wave, it's a huge wave. Think about that wave like people, right? That's a lot of people because you can see a lot of people from a distance, right? When you use a drone and you put a drone on top of a city square or where you have a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of people. If you just see one person on the drone, you will just see one person. The impact is different. Your eyes will see differently. Like you see more grass, so you'll be like, okay, cool, that's so cute. But when you now see people, you're like, you can't even see the grass because the people are on top of it. So when you look at the big picture on the SEO piece, where do you want to be? You want to be on those big tidal waves. You want to be on those those directories. You want to be on those spaces. So that's how you're able to do those selling services. For you, Shay, losing fat and weight naturally. How do I even start this? Let me start off with this because I had a picture in mind and that's why I paused. We'd love to hear from you, Shay, if you're available to speak, because I learned this recently. And this is like outside context, but it's so relatable to health, fat, loss, weight, everything. And I cook too, so I'm very particular on like the oils, right? I got to know that there's something called MCT oil. I mean, everybody learns everything new. I learned this not like recently, not I would say like this year for sure. And there's a difference in different types of oils, how it breaks down in your body, how you cook with the oils and everything, and what oils are good for you, what oils are not. So when you're even losing fat and you're also maintaining that, you have to also think about like the natural way of cooking, the natural way of eating, the natural way of all those things. So I wanted to come to you, Shay, to ask you a little bit about that because we've talked about this, and the progress is huge. You can tell people your story because I'm sure some people are hearing you for the first time, but we'd love to hear more on that specific section. So I'll pass it to you.
Hey, thank you for inviting me up. Um, I'm just getting hip to the MCT oil. I remember first hearing about it when I worked at Whole Foods, and I started looking into it. so I'm not too familiar with that still. But so you're asking like what type of oils I cook with?
Yeah, like with oils, because if you're thinking about losing fat naturally and people are on a diet, they have to focus on their weight and not, overeat or eat in a way that is also healthy and not like spongy, if I can say it like that.
Yes, I understand. I mainly cook my meal preps because I do local meal prepping here. I specifically use extra virgin olive oil. I before that I was using coconut oil, which I would still use. I just specifically use extra virgin, yes, oil for that. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Avocado oil is really good. Grapeseed oil is good. Those in that nature. Yes, I definitely. I've been helping my mom a lot, so I've been cooking a lot of meals for her, and she's still using like vegetable oil, which isn't good. Canola oils, no. So I've been incorporating that, and she's been liking it too. So
That's dope. Okay. That's good. It don't get said Liverpool's finest. Have you heard of MCT oil before?
What oil was that?
MCT oil. I think they call it medium chain. I don't want to butcher this name. Triglycerides. Have I said it correct?
Triglycerides.
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yes, you got
No,
it.
I've never
So
heard of it at all. I've never
yeah,
heard of it at
so
all.
those are not like, those are like yeah, MCT oils can be naturally derived, and they can also be modified, right? So like the oils that Shay talked about, like the seed oils are the most um, they have the healthiest form of triglycerides, right? When you go to get your labs done, you have the LDLs and HDLs, right? You want your LDLs to be low and your HDLs to be high. So HL, right? So all of those labs have normal values. So I'm not going to get into the medical normal values of everything, but that's why they tell you to stay away from like margarine and stick with butter. Because margarine are altered oils to solid forms, and they don't dissolve well in your body, right? So butters are better alternative, right? So like she talked about earlier, she mentioned canola oil, corn oil, and all those oils. Those are oils that are modified from something else to become oils. Those are not things that are naturally derived from fruit. So coconut oil, you can boil coconut and get oil out of it. You can cook coconut down and get oil out of it. You can do the same thing. You can press coconut and get oil out of it. You can press olives and get oil out of it, right? Those are naturally derived. You can put a gallon of milk in a container and churn it and produce butter out of it. Okay, that is naturally derived from whole milk, right? So the rest of the stuff are kind of like modified. That's why people like stay away from GMO, but they continue to eat corn oil, canola oil, and all of those oils that naturally raises your cholesterol in the wrong direction, right? So avocado oil is another healthy oil, right? Because avocado naturally has healthy fats, healthy oils. Those are the kind of oils that are already circulating in your body. So anything that can produce oil by you mashing it and squeezing it matches the natural osmolarity of your body. That is what you want to put in your body, as opposed to something that is manufactured. So stay with oily fruits that produce oil and oils that are made from those fruits. You cannot go wrong, or those plants rather. Faith, I have to touch on something that you said about thoughts. Um, we discount the power of a brain. We discount the power of our thinking. We discount the power of our thoughts to the source. Whatever your source is, it can be God, the universe, the light, whatever your source is, right? Even the Bible says if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, your faith is coming from what? Your thoughts and your belief. If you just believe, the rest of the things will work itself out, okay? Who, why, when, where. It doesn't matter. Okay, favor, like you and I having a chance encounter here on Clubhouse. Did I expect to meet a person named Favor on Clubhouse that is an SEO person that does podcast? Was that what I set out for? No. I joined the room. I made myself available, believing that I am going to find somebody that is going to align me with my purpose, the purpose that I was already working on, the purpose that I already put out there in my thoughts to the source, to God, and say, this must happen this way. Whoever it is, I don't know who this person is, but you know what? We're going to cross paths. You're going to make me cross paths with people that are going to put me on the path of where I'm going. You're going to put me in the path of people that can guide me, lead me, support me to where I'm going. Maybe 2 months from now, a year from now, 2 days from now, 8 minutes from now, it doesn't matter. That is not something that you worry about. What you worry about is doing your work. Do your work, have that positive thinking, and believe that it's going to happen, right? I cannot just put something out there and say, you know what, universe, God, this is what I want, but you know what, it's time for me to sit on the couch with bonbons and watch Saturday Night Live or AFV or whatever else out there is funny, right? I have to do the work. Be it establish my podcast, be it establish my website, be it be present on LinkedIn, be it join a clubhouse room like this, because I don't know who is here that I could possibly collaborate with, right? I have met so many people on Clubhouse. I've met so many people on Alignable. I've met so many people on LinkedIn that I did not set out to meet. But all of these people have come in to enrich my life in one way or the other, right? Because I made myself available. I put myself in the space that will align my purpose and connect me with the people that I need to connect with that will help me grow. Okay, so whatever your thing is, believe, be it the Bible, be it Christianity, be it Judaism, be it Islam, be it whatever it is, be it just a natural belief in the universe and the source and the power, whatever it is, whatever you call it, it all aligns to the same purpose. Think positively, think it's going to happen, believe that it's going to happen. Your mind has a powerful strength. Once you put that energy out there, you have nothing but attraction, attracting you to the purpose, attracting you to people that you need to be meet, attracting you to everything that you need. Don't worry about the rest. The rest will take care of itself. If I set out to meet a particular person at a particular time, at a particular day that does a particular thing, favor was not on my list. A lot of people that I met on Clubhouse were not on my list. A lot of people I've met on LinkedIn would never, ever, ever have crossed my path. But in meeting those people, I have now thought about, oh my goodness, I needed to do this. I didn't know that. Oh my, thank God I met you. Okay, restructuring, I'm still on my path, but I'm restructuring myself in a way that makes me more visible, makes my dream more visible, makes my vision more visible to whoever needs to see it. So don't worry about who, when, where. That is not none of your business. What is your business is to believe in your purpose. Your thinking has to be positive, and make yourself available, set up yourself, lay that foundation, so whoever is coming in to put in that window can put in that window correctly, can put in that door for you, can do the electrical for you, can do everything else that you need for you, and that house can be one of the best selling buildings on your block. Lay your foundation, and the rest will take care of itself. That's all I had to offer about that, Faber.
I love that. That's like a reality check for all of us right now, including me, myself included, because it's very important to look at these pictures and ask yourself, where do you really want to serve, and where are you going with what you're doing? Like, are you serving people? Are you serving yourself? Is it for self gratification? Is it for selfless service? So there has to be that bigger picture look into it, and that also allows you to fall in line. That gives you that priority, that goal, that strategy, that idea, and then from there you can take that to the next step. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Okay, so I think we've answered a good number of questions. We started this room at the top of the hour, and I was like, yeah, it's good to spend some time here, connect with people, get to know what your product is, what your community is like. Are you connecting the two together? Are they working for you? And if they're not working, how can we make them work together? So that's why I have some rooms like this. Tomorrow I have a room at 7:15 a.m. Central, and the title is Your Website is Broken. let's break down let's break this down and fix it. Pretty much. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And I'm also planning to do a 5 hour room. I don't know where I'm going to get that space tomorrow, but I'm going to find it. If it leads up into midnight, I don't know. I have told myself I'm going to do a 5 hour room somewhere. I might break it into parts and maybe do like a 2 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour if I can do the whole day. Or I'm going to break it and say, okay, between yeah, I'll figure it out, but definitely there's going to be a 5 hour run. I might do it in three parts because the way the day set up tomorrow, yeah, I can't do a whole 5 hour run. I would love to. That's the goal, but yeah, I would have to, tweak some things to see if those things are going to work. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to find a way somehow. Yeah, if I'm going to make it happen, I'll find a way because I definitely, and why it's 5 hours is because will be 5 years tomorrow, and I want the podcast that you see above, and we've crossed over 400 episodes now. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta look back and now point and say, okay, let's see what we're missing. What have we looked at? What have we skipped? Because even for me myself, I should be way more than that, but we've not even released as many as we wanted to because at the same time, you don't want to overload the audience. You want to understand where your audience is, and then from there do the research. And then when you come back to them, they're like, okay, we knew you were coming. So those are some things that, we're looking into. And as we're doing that, we're gonna have a giveaway. I did this on Friday, and I'm gonna do it again. There's gonna be a giveaway, and the person who wins is gonna get themselves something really nice. So just to thank you for being here and listening to the show. So if you're here listening to the show, click the link above and leave your contact information, and you'll be getting emails, and you won't get a lot of spams. You won't even get spams at all. You'll be getting quality emails because I don't send emails every time, but every time I send an email, and it's usually between 1 to 4 emails a month. It might get a little bit over that, but it's very heavy, very packed, and sometimes one email is enough for 2 weeks. Like it's that impactful. So yeah, those are some things I would definitely want to tell you so that you also don't miss out on that. I see you, Rochelle and Aki. Welcome to the room. You guys got your tickets, you got your pink tickets. So, welcome to the marketing club. Thank you so much for being here. Would love for you to join us. We are 349,000 members in here. So you are always welcome to join us. Feel free to click the link at the very top where it says Marketing Club, and you wouldn't miss a beat. We have a room here tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Central. So we have rooms here on a weekly basis. So if you want to learn about marketing, business, AI, anything digital marketing, we're going to be here for you. And there are replays available too. So we have a lot of replays if you want to tap into those too. So appreciate you for that insight. And Shay, why I brought the oil thing is because of what you were saying, and was leading up to my question, because if you're, talking about natural weight loss and losing fat, I was just thinking perfectly, like if you get those products from Amazon and you're talking about oil, you're building it, it can really help you scale. Speaking of scaling, let me give you guys some breaking news. It's breaking news, right? I mean, it's still early. It happened yesterday, but I would still call it breaking news because it's not 48 hours yet, if I can put it like that. So this is the breaking news that you guys have probably not heard yet. Did you know that TikTok and Pinterest just teamed up with Amazon for in-app shopping? That is,
What? I think I
yeah.
saw something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, heard about it. It's big.
It is. Liverpool's finest. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay.
So it'll be easier to, because I already linked my Amazon products to Pinterest, so it's easier to, I don't know what's going to be the big change.
I think the big change is that the way it's going to go is because TikTok, this is what my prediction is. Like everything is still new. So don't quote me. I just love to predict. I love to, research, forecast. I may be 99% or I might be 0%. Either way, I want to make sure I can understand the concept. So I always like to kind of think about it from a different point of view. So what I'm seeing, and I will share the link. I just found the link because I was doing some research so that you guys can get some insights because I like to give, information accurately. Boom. All right. TikTok and Pinterest team up with Amazon for in-app shopping. That's the link. So you can click the link above to read that. So what I'm thinking, because this came out 2 days ago, Friday, 9 a.m. So my thought process is Pinterest doesn't have shipping rights or shipping abilities or shipping features, right? Because when you monetize on Pinterest, you connect your Etsy account or you connect your Amazon account or you connect your Shopify account for those who have Shopify websites. Those are options that are available if you want to be a verified merchant. Now, what I'm seeing is TikTok is going to give people the for you access. Pinterest is going to give you the SEO visual search based on like, interest and everything. And then Amazon with the in-app shopping now opens it up for you to also be a creator and also have fast delivery services using Amazon. So now that everything has a shopping tab, it should be telling you too as a business that if I'm showing up with video or on audio, what product is following me to my community. This is all product and community talk right now, and this is a perfect example. What product do I have? Like, if like just look at the imagery that I've created today and look at the coincidence that happened with this article. I didn't plan this, y'all. I didn't plan this at all. So this is just happening in real time. If you look at the title, I don't usually put boxes in my title emojis. I don't. Just check my titles. You rarely see a box, probably once in a yellow moon, right? And then if you look at the thumbnail of this Amazon, you see the box there too. So there's a correlation between the two. How do you get your product from your community? Because the person that is putting that box down is a community member of Amazon. For that community member of Amazon or community staff or community based or community associate, whatever it is, Amazon Flex, there's a community factor. That product will not be delivered. Even if it was delivered by a robot, it was made within a community of people that thought through that product. So you can't you can't separate community and product. Like you can't separate your eyelashes from your eyes. You know what I mean? So you have to think about your goal, like the major driving force, so that when you're thinking about SEO, you're thinking about your website, you're thinking about email, you're thinking about Pinterest, putting your content on LinkedIn, wherever you are, these things are going to help you. Welcome, Cami. It's been a while, long time no see. Good to have you here. When you look at the Pinterest, TikTok, Amazon link up, that is a big way for you to also think about what it's going to do. Because when you keep scrolling, you'll see that TikTok is going to make it easier to identify movies and TV shows that users are clipping. So if people are clipping movies, on TikTok and they're connecting with you, and let's say you have a video and that video is something that has a product in it, then you could be making money off your product plus the product you're advertising because you're the product that people are seeing before they even see the product you're advertising. So the product management and the project ability falls in line with how you already create your business. Welcome, Lamore. Thanks for being here. When you connect your business within a community setup that is very responsive to your business, there's something that happens when the product becomes easy to access. Hey, you have this podcast. Hey, you have this book. We just talked about Think and Grow Rich, right? Everyone knows that book, but nobody really thought about the way I explained it after what I heard, from the source. And you look at it a little differently because you're like, oh, that's the product. Because sometimes we build a product, we don't even know what the product can do. In other words, I can make a hit song today, and I don't know what kind of dance is going to come out of this song tomorrow on TikTok because you've built a product and now the community is consuming it. And now what you're getting back as product feedback is off your creation, right? So everything has that call reaction, the call response, call to action, respond, react, active, passive, it's all in between. So there has to be a correlation between these. And if I'm looking at TikTok the way it's going, and if TikTok is gonna stay, which I hope it does, because a lot of people learn from TikTok. And I do. I've been there since 2016. A lot of people learn a lot of good stuff from there, and it's a refresher than just being on Instagram or being on other platforms where you have to be serious, like LinkedIn. Sometimes you just want to have downtime. So it has a really good way of just getting to those points where you can really start seeing the information jump out. So the way this is going, I think it's also perfect timing because we're getting closer to the holiday seasons. We're getting closer to the holidays. We're getting closer to Christmas. We're getting closer to Thanksgiving, to getting closer to Halloween. We're getting closer to New Year's. We're getting closer to Valentine's. We're getting closer, right? So if these companies are teaming up now, what are you doing in your business to team up? Like, what are those things that you can do? Like, it could even be in talking and passing. At least let the conversation be going because what's in the mind sticks and then it keeps growing over time. So, these are the things I'm thinking, but I'm very excited for the connection because Pinterest normally does not team up with people or companies. Pinterest does not team up with other companies. Very rarely do you hear Pinterest come up in a news segment. Like you rarely hear Pinterest. You'll hear Instagram, you'll hear, of course, you hear TikTok, you'll hear Facebook, you'll hear WhatsApp, you'll hear, all these other platforms. But to hear Pinterest, the last time Pinterest was on the news big time was when PayPal was trying to acquire Pinterest for hundreds of billions of dollars, and that it didn't work. I think it just didn't go through because I was like, this would change the whole game. Because I think Pinterest was trying to do like a checkout system with PayPal, but yeah, that didn't go well, or it didn't connect, or it just didn't happen. But it was in the process of happening. So for that to have happened, and that was the last time I heard Pinterest on the news in terms of merging or B2B affiliations, yeah, it gets a little deeper than this. So for TikTok and Amazon, this is like a double whammy. So doing this right now at this time is perfect timing. And if you're on Pinterest, you even get better because if you look at it, all out of these three, when I think SEO, Pinterest is the only platform that gives you access to second party data with a condition of accessing first party data. This is what I mean. Pinterest allows you, simply in simple terms, Pinterest allows you to connect your website to the platform so that you can collect data from the platform. So that when you now connect back to the platform, you're using data that you were able to read from the platform. So TikTok doesn't do that. TikTok just has an account. That's it. You don't really connect it to your website. The only thing you connect to your website with TikTok is a pixel, and that's about it. But it's not like a claimed tag like you'd have to claim a tag for Pinterest or Google. So that's what I see. And of course, Amazon is Amazon. So if you look at all those three SEO wise, Pinterest definitely gives you that heads up. So yeah, Shay, what are you thinking about that? And then I'll come to you and get Liverpool's finest.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to make it easier for everybody. Yes.
I believe so too. Yeah. You don't guess it. What are you thinking of this partnership?
I think it's a great partnership if Amazon just keeps its tentacle to itself. I've been an Amazon seller, and Amazon does not like, they like their rules very strict, their sandbox, their rules, kind of a thing. And they tend to do that whenever they partner with a company or take over. Amazon now has Amazon Health, which is One Medical. So One Medical was a very convenient, health network where it was similar to ZocDoc, but they actually had their own doctor. One Medical did everything. So you would go to One Medical, you see a doctor, they'll refer you to go do an X-ray, and it will be to a One Medical affiliate, and everything stays under the same hub. So you see a primary care doctor, gynecologist, radiologist, whatever you need under the same hub. Now, One Medical is now Amazon One Medical. So Amazon saw the usefulness of it and quickly gobbled that up. So if Amazon stays Amazon, allow Pinterest to be Pinterest, TikTok to be TikTok, that would be great. I think with Amazon partnership with TikTok, in the age of TikTok being banned because certain people got their feelings hurt, they didn't get the election result they wanted. I think this would be a great reason for TikTok to stick around, right? So Amazon basically controls almost everything in the United States right now. So you're talking about technology. You're talking about um, healthcare, a consumption of product. Basically, Amazon has streaming services, right, in entertainment as well. So Amazon has its tentacle in almost everything right now, and Amazon just does not partner with anybody unless there's big financial benefit for them. And I think this is a wake up call to everybody who's trying to, for lack of a better word, put a sock in TikTok. So if Amazon lets these two businesses run as they've always run, not changing things about the first, second party data collection that Pinterest does, and for TikTok to just operate as a marketplace, and they run their payments and whatever as they continue to do. I think it would be great. Everybody will benefit. People that want to sell on TikTok, people who want to sell on Pinterest, and people want to sell on Amazon. Amazon can retain its seller base, TikTok can retain its seller base, Pinterest can retain its seller base, as long as it's not Amazon's rules that, okay, if if you have sellers on any of this platform, they must conform to our rules. I think that will make it a much leveled playing field for everybody to have a selling voice, because Amazon seller rules are very strict. I have stories.
That's deep. Yeah, it goes beyond the consumer. Like once you're on the business seat, it takes a different hit. Like even with Pinterest, people consume Pinterest on the consumer side, but when you now take on the Pinterest business side, you see a whole different picture because you're dealing with numbers, data, analytics, marketing, advertising, numbers. It gets very tactical and technical. So yeah, I get what you're saying with that. Guess that's a good one. Liverpool's finest. What are you thinking about this partnership? And welcome to Room Vitalians and Dylan. I see you as well. Meta, sorry, recently, Jason, San, Vichy, Evans. Wanted to acknowledge you in the room. Thanks for being here. Passing it to you, Liverpool.
You know what? I actually think this is gonna will be a good partnership. I think it quite innovative actually. I think it will really better the user kind of experience as consumers, because one thing that consumers like is things that are convenient for them and things that are easy, so it doesn't take too much effort and things like that. So without having to have too many tabs open and everything like that. So the fact that you're able to kind of still stay in one application without having to dart to another one because you've seen something that you really want. Because when you look at somewhere like TikTok, there's quite a lot of influencers on there in across vast industries, etc., etc., etc. You might see something that you really want, or something that actually looks really good. So providing that information and all the and the prices and everything like that will be really good for just for the consumers and everything like that. So I think, yeah, it's a really positive one, because you know one thing that I find is really, really annoying, just from my own point of view, when you go on a specific website, and it can be any website really, those pop-up ads can be a little bit of a nuisance sometimes, because they kind of like are trying to sell you something that you may not necessarily be interested in, you know, and that could possibly be a downer to that kind of thing as well. Just trying to make sure that you cater to people's interests and things like that, and not trying to bombard them with, like, a lot of pop ads and everything like that, because not everybody, and it also comes down to like the frame of mind as well, because not everybody wants to be pitched to all the time. Not everybody wants to have somebody try and sell you something all the time, because it can be quite annoying. It can be quite annoying because it's like, I'm really not interested in this. But overall, I actually think it will be a very, very good, good way, in an innovative way, to kind of really try and, yeah, really try and reach out to a lot more people, and just create that much more, easy flowing user experience amongst consumers, etc., etc., etc. So that's what I would say.
No, I love that. Thank you so much for that insight. This is new and it's fresh, and a lot of people don't know about this. I probably might bring this topic back tomorrow, somewhere in the day. Maybe if I split up my time within those 5 hours, we'll see. Because you're right too on that Liverpool's finest, because there's a lot to take in, cover, look through, analyze. People have to get used to the system on how to even work it out. It's so much. It's so much. And then the research, people don't have time to research. To even read an article is already a problem, talk less of research. So it's really hard to look at those things. I'm going to put another article at the top, because as you guys were speaking, I was like, let me go inside and see a little bit more, because you don't want to just read from one source either. You want to also justify what is going on. And then if you look at the very top, you're going to see the same article that I posted. You'll see it coming in from here, from the keyword co. And just from what noticed, a LinkedIn post from by the global product marketing manager at TikTok, Kieran Kang, he said that this integration is all about enhancing connected experiences, making it easier for users to discover, shop, and enjoy the products they love on Amazon without ever leaving the TikTok app. So whether you're catching up with a funny video, exploring new content, you can shop seamlessly with a few taps. So this is telling me that, from what I'm seeing, for people to purchase products, shoppers can now link their Pinterest and TikTok profiles with their Amazon accounts, and then they can use their stored payments and shipping information to carry out transactions within the app. That is a big game changer, because that's also going to show eligibility. And then they also said, like, users who choose to link their accounts in the US will see real-time pricing, Prime eligibility, delivery estimates if you have Amazon Prime, product details on the select Amazon product ads in TikTok as part of the experience. And now the Amazon consultant Fahad Sajad explained on LinkedIn. That's another LinkedIn post. I love that they were able to do that on LinkedIn too officially. You'll see the links in this article. They said that Amazon will handle the advertising on TikTok similarly to how Meta manages ads on its platforms. Do you hear that again? Let me say that again. Amazon will handle the advertising on TikTok similarly to how Meta manages ads on its platform. However, with time, brands will use Amazon's advertising tools such as sponsored display and demand side platform DSP ads on TikTok. So, what it's telling me, it looks like we're coming to a time, or we're heading towards a time that because you can run, when you go on TikTok and you see ads that are running, normally those ads are running to their websites, to their products. So if that means if Amazon is going to be handling the advertising on TikTok within their own platform, then it means that if you're advertising your products, you could be advertising on TikTok, but related products that are on Amazon that are also connected on Pinterest could be found within your platform. So wherever you go, whether you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, sorry, you're on Pinterest, because it kind of sound alike. If you're on Amazon, you're on Pinterest, and you're on TikTok, then your shopping experience gets enhanced because what normally happens, and it's happened to me too. You see something on TikTok, you like it, you think about buying it on TikTok, you're like, I don't know if I bought it on TikTok, so I'm a pass. And then the next minute, you're like, okay, let me go to Amazon, and then I'm gonna just buy it from Amazon and get it in 2 days. That's the mentality that people usually have because they don't that they're naturally used to shopping in a certain type of way. Like if I've been going to this grocery store for the past 20 years, this is what I know, and this is all I know, and this is what I'm doing because of what I've been doing. That's the kind of feeling that people have when they're shopping online because they're already used to shopping. Like why do I gotta do a self checkout or a robot checkout? I was reading earlier that Taco Bell, they're about to start doing AI drive-throughs, right? Like things are changing in front of our eyes as we I'm just giving you guys what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. So you don't say, oh, we didn't know, right? It's happening in real time. Yes, Paris is giving more trust because you have to think about those things. Yes, you don't get it. I know Liverpool's fans want to make a comment. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is free open conversation. Let's go.
So yeah, yeah. So Favor, I hear you. I hear everything you're saying on the consumer side. On the seller side, it's not. I don't see this all rosy. To be honest with you, again, being traumatized by Amazon, I don't see this being all rosy. Amazon likes to control things. People are making a killing on TikTok. Just at the nick of time of me transitioning my retail store to TikTok. Now this is happening because Amazon's level of rules are very stringent that people don't make a killing. It's a very competitive market. You pay all this money because of storage. TikTok doesn't have all this. I fear because Amazon has been losing a lot of sales to TikTok because people don't mind. And actually on TikTok, a lot of businesses, right, sell on TikTok where they are doing that competitive 2 day shipping, right? Not every store on TikTok is a drop shipping store, right? They're actually private brands and actually stores that actually offer those competitive 2 to 3 days or 2 to 5 days shipping. So Amazon has been rapidly, okay, rapidly losing money. Yeah, they stole from me. I see you, Paris. Yep. All that storage fees I've been paying and not really breaking even. It hurts. So anyway, I feel like this is good for the consumer, for the business owner. I'm not too superly excited about this. Let's see where it goes, right? I'm optimistic. Don't get me wrong. I just want Amazon to just keep its sticky fingers into their pockets. They have a way of robbing people. They have a way of robbing their sellers. Yes, the consumer benefits. They don't give you a benefit of the doubt. If I am selling a product and there are 10 other sellers selling from the same supplier, if 100 people purchase 89 product and there's a deficit, right? Right now with TikTok, you can actually have a relationship with your consumer to tell them, hey, you know what, let me try to find another supplier that can send you this. Amazon has zero sum a toleration of that. They will close your store in zero point 0.5 seconds, right? So advertising on Amazon advertising is not cheap. I've done that. Pay per click, I've done all of that. It is not cheap. I need Amazon to stay in the side and be a companion as opposed to coming in and taking over. For the consumer, yes, yay, yay, everything is connected. Oh, I can get my things in 24 hours. Whoopee. That is great. On a business side of things, I don't think it's going to be that all the way rosy if Amazon decides to implement what they do. I think TikTok should be smart in saying, you know what? People have been progressing and making money with us. That is what we're going to do. Pinterest should say the same thing. That is why Shopify doesn't want to partner with Amazon in any sense of the word. because they understand that Amazon's rules sometimes do not benefit the seller.
Mm, deep. I love that. You don't get it. That was really deep. I love that. Liverpool's fans would love to hear from you too, because this is getting juicy.
Yeah, so I had another comment to make that I kind of forgot to kind of like mention as well. I do wonder how this partnership is going to kind of like affect Amazon Amazon in terms of their logistics. Now if we look at kind of like logistics, it's very, very important all round for businesses as well as consumers, because you want to make sure that you've got enough product enough of the product to reach the demand, and you also want to make sure that you also make sure that consumers aren't waiting too long for to get their products delivered, because you know, like, one thing that consumers like is to make sure that things are quick and efficient, to make sure that they're not waiting far too long and everything like that. So, and obviously, because obviously TikTok is still very, very big, very, very big at the moment, and it's still growing. And a lot of people actually use it. So it makes me wonder how this is going to impact, whether positively or negatively, on Amazon's logistics and everything like that, and also making sure that that making sure that you supply, whether they have the things in stock as well, and making sure that, because one thing that's really, really rather annoying is when you go and search for something, especially even just on Amazon, if you were to go through the app and you want something and it's no longer in stock, and you have to kind of, and now I'm gonna have to either wait, or I'm gonna have to take my business elsewhere, to be honest. And a good example that I would use in terms of logistics, and I'll use myself as an example. Like 2 years ago, when the latest iPad came out, because I haven't really dropped one since, right? And with Apple products, it gets really, really bad. It gets really, really hyped. Everybody wants to buy it, etc., etc., etc. And I remember when the latest iPad that actually dropped about 2 years ago, and everybody was buying it, and I said I really want to buy this, and etc., etc. I literally had to wait um about 3 months, if not longer, just to get my hands on this brand new iPad, because the logistics side was very, 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 very slow, and to be quite honest, because it wasn't able to actually reach the demand. And some people, because obviously I'm a big, massive Apple fan, so obviously that's the only product that I actually really use in terms of technology, so I was willing to wait. But for some people, they might not actually want to wait and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and get a completely different brand, and that's a sure way of trying to of losing customers and losing business when you don't really need to. So that's what I would also say as well. That's very important.
This is very deep. There's so many things I'm thinking about. Julie's in the building too. Thank you for being here, Julie. Happy Sunday. It's deep. I was also hearing something to do with like Amazon healthcare. They're really working on those things too. Like there's so much Amazon is trying to get into, and you don't get to, you're talking about like their market share, and now with TikTok and Amazon, Pinterest, it's a whole new world. And I think it's going to be very different for people. I was even looking at Reddit too. A lot of businesses are running ads on Reddit, as well, because it's untapped and they can be very specific with their marketing. There's so much, that you have to look at as a business, and it's not a game anymore. So I think it's one of those things that we have to look at long term, and help ourselves get to that point where we're like, okay, are we going to be on all these platforms, or how are we going to use these platforms to get better? And what are we using to pull people into this community? So, yeah, this is a good topic. SEO Sundays. I love this space. Welcome, Dr. Fashion. How are you? Good evening.
Hey, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. Can't believe you have a room open.
I do.
I'm assuming this was not planned, right?
Mm, you're right. It wasn't planned, but I think about SEO Sundays, and I was like, I haven't done one in a
Mm.
while, so I want to do this at least once a month, if not twice. But more often than not, I want to, have this on rotation in the evenings.
I like it. And this is a really great topic. How long have you had the room open?
This room has been open for almost an hour, actually an hour and a half, close to an hour and a half.
Oh,
We started
wow.
off as, yeah, it first started off with community and product, and then I talked about, this partnership, and then I switched the title to this. So we've been talking about this, I think, for the past probably 10-15 minutes now when we switched the topic. And, we'd love to hear your thoughts on if you've heard of this and if you know what's happening and maybe some insights you could share with us.
Yeah, I mean, the creators I work with that are active on TikTok, they're pretty much excited because they are doing shoppable content. So we see a lot of potential financially for them to increase their revenue. One of the things people probably don't know is like a lot of creators have been requesting that YouTube do a collaboration with Amazon since so many creators on the platform have like their links in the description. So that could be a possibility in like 2025. You just never know. But it seems like Amazon is pretty much collaborating with all social media platforms, which I feel makes sense and it makes it convenient for the consumers because oftentimes when I'm purchasing items, honestly, I think I would probably have an extra 100K in my bank account if I didn't see some of these videos. It's like that one video and they did a demo and I'm like, oh, I need it. And it's like, it's not really a need. I just want it. Right. But that's what's happening now.
It's crazy you said this because I guess it was like on the other side, having because she's had her own experiences with Amazon, and a lot of people have had experiences with Amazon. So it's like, do you trust Amazon or do you let Amazon trust you? Like it has to switch.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And then I think my question for you would be like knowing that TikTok is collaborating with Amazon and you're already on Pinterest and people are doing things over there with shoppable content. Are you going to be integrating that into your podcast stuff or are you not really worried about it right now?
Actually, I've been thinking about it lately, just incorporating Amazon into just the podcast because I've been doing it in a different way, but I mean I haven't done it exactly with Amazon. But I'm planning to, the way these things are going, because I'm looking at it from a Web3 standpoint, like how would people interact? What are people learning? Where are they getting information from? And if they have this information, where can they click it to? So those are some things I'm trying to get into with the podcast, get more of the show to really highlight some products that people can actually connect with. If they're looking for some really cool things, let's say they want to like jot down copy books to read, those are the things that we're going to edify, help them grow. It's going to give them more exposure. So those are some things I'm thinking about as well. You see,
I like it.
Paris said, yeah.
I
But you
see.
see,
Yes. Oh.
I was going to say that, you see, like we're talking about trust, and Paris is like no trust.
No, I like it a lot. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, content creators should start thinking about how they want to take the information that is out there and kind of apply it to what they're doing with content and in their business. So I think you met her here on Clubhouse, but her name is Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. She has an entire podcast, like a company where she hosts shows under that company. And she's also on TV, like on Roku. She has like her own show. And I've been working with her and one thing we have been doing is integrating the Amazon affiliate as well as the YouTube affiliate program into her content. And so even though she was already monetized with her podcast show on YouTube, this is like the most money she have ever seen from content creation just by tagging products and not verbally telling people to buy. So when I look at my clients' videos, I'm like monetizing everything. Let's tag the shirt. Let's tag the coffee that's on the table. Shit, let's tag the table. So she did. And, even if they don't buy those products that are being tagged and they buy something else, you get a commission for the entire cart. So it's like so many different ways to make money now. It's just insane to me.
It's wild. I think there's so much opportunity for us to grow and just connect. It's like think about like brand partnership strategy. Like if you like the product so much, talk about them to a point where they want to talk about you. That's how I see it too. And then if which company wouldn't want them to talk about their products, even if they're not being paid for it, they want to hear that. And then at some point they're like, oh, okay, this is actually a deal. If they actually like you, it works. I was talking to somebody, we're gonna communicate again tomorrow. He was it was so humbling. This guy doing well with his business, got him on my podcast. We were talking, and after the show, he was like, "Okay, what do you do?" I was like, I gave him like a whole synopsis. It's like, "Okay, this is cool. I like that." And then after speaking a little bit with him, he was like, I really like your personality. Really good conversation. I get on a lot of podcasts, but I don't really." I just leave. But this time around, I'm staying a little bit because I like your vibe and everything. And he's like, okay, what else do you do? I told him about the podcast. I was like, oh, yeah, we're top 3%. The next thing he said is like, stop right there. I don't care about whether you're top 1%. That's the first thing he said. He with a straight face. And he's like, the only reason why I'm telling you that is because I actually want to, like, I appreciate working with you and actually connecting with you because everybody can sell snake oil and everything. But I'm not working with you because of your numbers. I'm working with you because of your personality. That just changed everything in the mood because he was so serious. Like, he was like, I don't care. And I was like, what do you want me to say? I can't tell you anything more than what I've said. But him responding that way also shows that it's not just, okay, we have a brand partnership or we want to do community. Do people like you? Do people want to work with you? Do they want to talk to you? Can they express themselves? Do they feel comfortable around you? If they don't, that's a problem. So I think also creating that safe space online and not just being a cash bag, trying to chase the bag in that way, it's let the bag attract you, not you attract the bag. Let it attract you because when it attracts you, there's more like a magnet. Just when you put the magnet up, everything that's electromagnetic within the field will come in. But if you start using Pokemon and start using your magnet, you'll be flying like a frisbee. So you have to think about like just paint that picture and see where you fit in so that you can also enjoy the benefits. So I'm glad we had this talk today and we're ending it on a high note. So does anyone want to say anything before we wrap up the room? That's nice. It's everybody's just quiet. I'm
Sorry.
like, are y'all
Just a
y'all
Thank
moment
you
of
for
good?
having
silence.
us. Thank you for having us this Sunday.
I was going to say the same thing. Uh, even though I was late to the party that I was not invited to, by the way. Um,
Same,
it's
Dr.
just,
Fashion, same.
oh, he did us
Same,
dirty.
same, same. I
Oh,
was
the
very late.
whole
I was
freaking
very
Damn.
late.
moderators on stage. You are not right, favor.
Wow.
You
Don't
know
y'all
what?
like
Yeah,
pop-up
you know what?
rooms
Yeah, I
though?
didn't even get a ping. I did not even get a ping. It would have been nice to be invited to the party, but try
Y'all don't finish me now. Don't y'all like pop-up rooms like this? Or you want me to schedule them? Like
No,
what
I'm okay with a pop up room, but as what was mentioned earlier, we didn't even get a ping. Like, where was the ping? You
I
know?
don't know about the ping though. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
It's all good. Well, for one, I appreciate all your rooms. You always share insightful information and can't wait for your next one. So thanks for having me on stage with you and others here in this clubhouse streets.
Hey, no, you guys are the reason why I'm here. I appreciate you because if you aren't here, this room will be closed. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Each and every one of you that's here. I really love being in this spaces because you meet people from all over the world. Sometimes it might be next door, sometimes it might be you know, next planet, you never know, next continent, let me put it like that. It's for better accuracy. It's just a matter of, where are we connecting and how we building. So if I hear something, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is what I found. Like what I found out today with this TikTok thing. So yeah, I'll be doing more SEO Sundays like this. It's very refreshing. It's not heavy on SEO. It's just conversation, and we can relate to other things as well. So, thank you so much. I
But
appreciate that.
make sure you consider people from across the Atlantic, please, because I can't be staying up till this late. It's like nearly 3 a.m. here, so make
Oh
sure you
my
consider the
God.
people.
Oh yes, definitely. Actually we have a room. I don't know what time that's for you, but that should be okay. In the next how are we looking? 7. Yeah, in the next 13 hours. There's going to be a room at 7:15 a.m. Central. We'll be having a room about your website is broken. Let's break this down and
That'll
fix
be
it.
about one. That'll be 1 in the afternoon, my time, around about that time. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. I have that in mind for sure. Pierre, good evening. Welcome.
Hey, hey, good evening. Good evening. Sorry if I'm jumping in a little late. I just thought I would just come in and say hi to you and say hi to everybody and just try to support. I'm just kind of writing and thought and uh thought I would just kind of like write at one level and at the same time kind of listen in as much as possible. So just wanted to say hi and be supportive.
Thank you. Thank you. We're just about to wrap up, but I would love to hear your thoughts too. Have you heard about this partnership, TikTok, Amazon, Pinterest?
It's a combined partnership. Is that what's going on? Because I hadn't heard. To be honest with you, no, I've not heard of it before. Basically, I know that, but I'll say this a little bit too. Just on the surface, I would my first gut feeling would be I'm not surprised that there's something if it's combined. I'm not surprised by it. Everybody this year seems to be focused on whether you do YouTube or whether you do something like because I know YouTube is a big deal. TikTok, of course, is a big deal. And in the states, definitely a little bit of worry because of the quote unquote TikTok ban. But everyone has some sort of they're competing to keep influencers on their platform. So now they're trying to, and each platform is competing by offering programs or the best features to allow creators to be content creators to share their thoughts, curate their audiences, and strengthen up, so to speak. So. My gut feeling is no, I've not heard of this before if it's a partnership between TikTok, Pinterest, and Amazon, but I would not be. It's not surprising because it's very competitive among the platforms right now.
I agree. Yeah, it's a tough one. And them doing it around this time of the season in the year when, they're about to, it's just Q4 coming, Q3 closing soon. They're tactical about it, which is good. And I feel like it's good for creators. And if this is really happening, which I think it is, because it's on their website and they made it official. So whenever I see, and what I've noticed too, SEO wise, this is something if you've never noticed, guys, check this out. Whenever there's a partnership happening within two businesses or like two companies merging or doing some type of partnership, you start to realize that each of those companies talk about the other one. Like if you look at the link I put before this one, the person that I think is the VP of TikTok product marketing, he put it on LinkedIn. Somebody from Amazon that works at Amazon within, I think, the C suite level posted it on LinkedIn, right? So they're posting it together on social. Even though they've penned it down, they've shook hands, they've exchanged currency, they've built a business, they've built trust, they'll take that information and send it to your email. They'll send it to the blogs. They'll document it because they want to make sure that there's a track record. So even if you think about these things as a business, when you do something for your business, whether it's an event, whether you did a workshop, whether you did something, or a podcast release, or you turned two, or whatever it is, try to document it into your podcast or into your setting, into your text. That way people can also know that you're doing something outside. So it's a really exciting time. It's scary, But it's also possible because it also keeps people awake, because moves like this, keeps people like Meta awake, because Meta is going to be like, okay, if Amazon is doing this with YouTube, with Pinterest coming along the way with Amazon, then what are these other platforms going to do? And then, creators start to build, and then it starts to get into all those things. So I think it's a really good avenue. It's just a matter of where people want to spend time the most. And then from there, they can see where that would take them. But, for Amazon to be taking over the marketing piece, and then people can shop within the apps on TikTok or Pinterest, and then they use their saved data from Amazon to ship or to check out. It's crazy. That means they're really doing like a huge integrational system. And that way, even your app time, your screen time is going to change. Because now, if you like shopping on Amazon, you like to go to Amazon to shop. They've created AI tools within Amazon and TikTok too. So if you're shopping on Amazon, welcome Shara, welcome to room as well, Lisa. Glad to have you all here. When you look at those parameters that they're creating, then it's going to give you a kind of like a ticker that allows you to know, okay, this is where people are going to spend time. So if people spend time on TikTok more than Pinterest and they're checking out through Amazon, then that also tells you where the community is going to be, where the product is. And most times when people are doing reviews, people spend time on TikTok, mostly Gen Zs from data, but also the older folk, the people who are more, financially able to actually make a financial decision, are spending time on Pinterest. So it's going to be a very big war. I can say a social war, but it's also going to be very competitive, to give people those insights long term. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think I'll bring it back again because not everyone is on Clubhouse on a Sunday. So I'll definitely bring this back during the week to see what we can do as well. Let's see. I didn't even notice the chat was going crazy. Okay, thank you, Kathy. And then affiliate bags, yes, definitely reach out to Dr. Fashion. Yeah, definitely those affiliates. Yeah, you guys would do so well with that. Kathy's asking is the same with Disney and Hulu, unified streaming service. Then it's a little different between Disney and Hulu. It's more like broadcasting merging, so that has a different effect. But I'm sure they will still apply the same thing where they will document it and put it on their websites as articles, so that there's a date stamp and a timestamp attached to those, things. And it just helps because these companies, the VP of mark, if you think about all these companies, they go to LinkedIn. They'll talk about it on LinkedIn so that they can also document it through. And if you look at LinkedIn too, it's called LinkedIn because the links, like just look at the word link in. It's linked, meaning that it's past tense. So if you're connecting with posts that were done in the past, then you link to those posts within your next post. So if you have a good post in your featured post or your LinkedIn post that has a carousel post, then link that post to the next post within your current post. Because when you send a page or a LinkedIn page, even if it's a URL from outside, a third party according to LinkedIn, then that LinkedIn turns into an actual link. So if that LinkedIn URL is linked to another link on LinkedIn, then you're creating links within your LinkedIn profile. So people can actually click on your referring. Let's say you talked about something today. Hey, click this link to refer to my post talking about it. That's a 2 months ago post, or that's a 1 year ago post. Those posts are still seen on Google. So you're kind of giving yourself that booster when you start creating those things. So companies are not just typing because they feel like, oh, we should talk about it. It's because it's going to help the documentation process. It's going to help credibility. Even if a blog says it and we find it on LinkedIn and it was said by the actual VP, then you don't have to guess or second guess. So these are some things to think about as a business to help you scale further. And then Paris says, so Amazon controls the cloud and the cash flow. Yeah, those who are partnering with them must be afraid, have been afraid not to. Yeah, it's deep. It's really deep. So I think it just depends on where we're going and who we're doing this for and how we're actually processing our stuff. So, and then also read the guidelines, read the terms of service, do your own due diligence, and, we'll make this a great, great place to be. So this has been a great topic today. we've done a two-way topic. We did the first one, community and product, and then we actually brought products within the community to talk about this. So I'm glad that you guys were able to be here with us today. For those who are listening, here's a podcast. Click the link above, subscribe to the podcast show, and you'll learn so much about what we do, how we do things, how we connect with people. And tomorrow's going to be 5 years for us. We've crossed over 400 episodes. Season 9 is going to kick off at the end of this month, and we're a top 3%, and it's just an upward hill from here. And we've also connected with the radio station too that we're going to start broadcasting through. So a lot of things are happening on the back end because we want to help a lot of people understand how to podcast. Like I've been seeing podcasting everywhere, like it's hot cake, but not everyone knows how to process it. Even to upload a simple question like, how do you upload your podcast to Apple? Is a very simple question, but carries a lot of weight because once people understand how to do those things, it's going to be easy for them once they actually see it happening. So, those are some things that we're going to be bringing to you live and direct. So, thanks again. Appreciate you. Shay was also on the podcast, by the way. Shay talked about how she lost. Let me pass it to you so you can finish the story. Shay, tell them your successful story in about 60 seconds.
Yes, thank you, Favor. Yes, I was on. Actually, Favor was the first podcast I did and that just jump started everything. I've lost 50 pounds naturally, and I help people do the same. So I started my meal prep service, my wellness club, and I've been working on my blogs and everything thanks to Favor. So I just appreciate it, and keep keep tuning in, and the podcast is great. It's just a lot of good information.
Thank you, Shay. Appreciate you, Dr. Fashion too. We had a feature as well, and yeah, it was a while back. Come to think of it, because I met you, Dr. Fashion, I think 2021 when we were doing Marciano's rooms. And those days, I remember Dr. Fashion used to come in the room quiet. You wouldn't even hear her talk. I'd be like, who is this on stage wearing the same color as me, purple? Who are you? You were just going at it. And then I didn't know, fast forward till now, life is so funny. Like when you think about the time and, how you connect with people, it's good stories. So I'll pass it to you, Dr. Fashion.
No, I was just thinking about. I forgot about that room. It's like I was super quiet, never came on stage, but I told you, like, once I started hearing misinformation about YouTube, I was like, can't hold my tongue any longer. So now you see me mostly on stage, if I'm in your room or Rocky or a few other people.
I love it. I love it. We've definitely morphed. A lot of lessons learned along the way. Same thing with me. I was hearing Pinterest. I was like, let me come in and talk about it. I didn't want to say much, but now look at where we are. So, consistency is key. And I'm glad that we did it because if we didn't, we won't be here today. So I'm just grateful for each and every one of you, connecting with each and every one of you. Y'all are amazing. This has been great. Muriel, thank you for being here. I see you with your ticket. Please welcome to the Marketing Club, where we have a lot of great conversations, almost on a daily basis, but we have it on a very regular basis here. So, like starting off tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Central, we'll be here talking about how to fix your website because a lot of websites are broken, and I want to help you all fix it before it gets too late to the end of the year. So, I want to spot some things out and give you guys some really cool insights. So, thanks again. Great topic, great conversation. Hope you all have a blessed evening. I don't guess it. Liverpool's finest Shay, Dr. Fashion, Pierre, Jermichael, Julie, Lisa, Shara, Kathy, Paris, Meta. Welcome to Clubhouse, Meta. I saw you started following some of the accounts, so I always do that. So we got to unveil who Meta is. But yeah, welcome to the room. Phil as well, Muriel as well, and Bilal. Thank you for joining. This is a great space. Feel free just to connect with each and anyone that connected with you or resonated with you in this room. Left, right, up, down. We're all here to help you all the way around. So with that said, have a blessed evening, and I'm gonna catch you guys early tomorrow morning. Take care.